Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live edition of the Locker Room Daily Reporter, TLDR for short. We've got some news, big news. Probably the biggest news of them all is that Disney used tech to build the Galactic Star Cruiser experience, and come September, the Galactic Star Cruiser is no more. They're getting rid of it. Or at least eliminating it as we know it today, like being this hotel, this experience, this immersive experience. Like it was the closest thing to like going to a galaxy far, far away, apart from like walking through Batuu, right? But even more so, right? And then even staying in a room that was Star Wars themed, it was just unfortunately ungodly expensive. So that is the reason why Disney is getting rid of the Galactic Star Cruiser. It was. I can't imagine them not reusing bits and pieces from what they did, or moving them around, or having something else go on with it, but just maybe not at its expense. Like and CNIP, I don't know. Did you hear that news? Unless CNIP can't hear me. Oh, he was here.
Dropped out.
Yeah, he maybe.
Must be having audio issues.
Yeah. Because CNIP probably has something to say about this. Yeah, it was expensive. Like yeah. I would have, I would have, if I thought it was within the realm of reach, I would have, paid a bit more attention to it. But as it is, like just a regular old Disney trip is out of pocketbook, like just tremendous, just on its own. Like if I lived, anywhere near Florida, I'm like, okay, well then, you don't have to pay, for this, that, or the other thing. But man, I had been hoping that they'd put it on a discount. Like, well, it's out, initially it's going to be expensive, and then, make it discounted. But in today's climate, like it was poorly timed. And speaking of today's climate, okay, tech news, right? Facebook is going to be laying off more people. So Facebook's going through another round of layoffs. That's a shock, or that, by the way, was sarcasm. And then I think is it BT? Give me a second. I'm going to pull up this story specifically because I thought this was like going to be the headline today. Unfortunately, I don't think. There we go. BT. I think this is British Telecom, correct? Is set to cut, or suggested to cut, 55,000 jobs.
Oh my God.
With up to now this is over time, right? By 2030, as fiber and AI arrive. 2030. That's 7 years away. So what have I been saying? Like, this is knocking at your 50, not 5,500, which is pretty devastating. 55,000. That's an estimate. 2030, as fiber and AI roll around, with up to a fifth of that. So what's a fifth of 55,000? What is that? 22,000 or so? 2,000?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah, 20
yeah.
27-ish.
Give or take. Well, imagine laying off 2,700 people. That's a lot on its own. That's a lot. It's notable. Up to a fifth of those jobs that are going to be cut are going to be replaced by AI. That's the suggestion.
Wow.
So, for anybody, again, to sit here and think that this is not going to impact you in any way, shape, or form, and you gotta learn how to read the tea leaves, because I think more of that is coming down the pike. I think CEOs are going to start saying that more and more often. Like, yeah, we're probably going to cut X, Y, and Z in the future, and they don't want to say that jobs are going to be replaced by AI because it's not a fun thing to say, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen. If it hasn't happened to you, it happened. I mean, layoffs happened to me.
It's like they're shooting themselves in the foot and they don't even realize it.
In many ways, anybody, and it's not even survivor's guilt at that point. Like, if you're still around in a position at a company that has been going through layoff after layoff after layoff, like, you start to wonder, like, am I next? Hey, Mighty Bean, good to see you. Oh, you think AI reads tea leaves better than the average human can? You're probably right there. I'll just run ChatGPT. It'll answer the question. Like, hey, when is this going to happen? Well, it's going to happen. sooner or later. And Intel has been, I would say, decimated. Like every time I turn around, oh, more layoffs, or this is happening. I'm like, oh man, yikes. So I can only imagine how low morale is for those who are still there, wondering what's going to happen next. Because quite honestly, the 4 years I was there, it was relatively tumultuous. So I can't imagine things running that much more smoothly today than they did when I was there. So I don't know. I can't speak to any other big company and what it's like there, but I think Meta is Meta's doing rounds of layoffs. I don't know if Microsoft's facing another round or two. I'm sure it's not going to stop anytime soon. These are, by the way, associated, right? When I talk about Disney not being able to afford this immersive experience, it's because ain't nobody got a job. I mean, people got jobs, yes, but like the economy ain't that strong. And so the last thing people are going to want to do, like, let me put it this way. Like when I had an option, like, okay, I had, a possibility like, hey, why don't you, requisition some of this stuff and go to Disneyland? I'm like, because it would cost so much. Well, yeah, but I'm like, yeah, but if I ain't got stability, the last thing I'm going to do is fork over. Let's just say I'm picking this number out of thin air, right? For family of 3, maybe down in California for a couple of weeks, right? Some at Disneyland, Universal, Legoland, like make a whole thing out of it. $10,000. Does that sound ballpark for 3 people?
Yeah.
Is that $10,000 for 2 weeks? So
It's be American dollars because that seems low to me.
Yeah. So you understand what I'm saying? Like if you can't figure out how to make that work, you're fucked. So as much as I want to do it, as much as I want to make a go of it, I can't. Like the closest thing I think we'd be able to do is a Disneyland trip for like maybe 4 days.
Yep.
Just Disneyland, not Universal, not Legoland, because it adds up. And then maybe next time we'll travel back and then we'll go to Universal. Next time we'll go back, then we'll go to, because it adds up. Yep. And to incur a $10,000 expense with no how would you, as an entrepreneur, how would I offset those costs? Like, what would I do? Like, what would it? I mean, I don't do vlogging anymore. Doing content anymore is like it's a non-starter. So yeah, I'm screwed to be able to do something like that, and the costs are just going up and up and up. So without any stability underneath me, without anything like that, the last thing I'm going to do, even if I want to do it, even if I would love to do it, even if it's something that yes, sign me up. I mean, if I wasn't where I was today, I would consider moving closer, like moving to Anaheim. Why not? But it's not practical. It's not even close to being practical. Not at this point in my life, not with all things considered. Maybe I could see doing something into retirement, but again, it's all up in the air. So layoffs, closures. I feel like if there was a sign of a quote unquote recession, having Disney shutter like what was arguably one of their biggest launches in recent years for Star Wars fans certainly is just that is a huge deal. I mean, how expensive was that to run? For it to run people, what, $6,000 for 2 nights? I think is what it was. Yeah, $6,000 for 2 nights. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
And it's not even been open a year. It's going to close down about the year mark because it opened last September.
How much money did they throw into it? Like, how much money does it cost to run?
I could add to my Star Wars collection quite a bit with that amount of money.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
That's what kills me. Is I would have wanted the merch. Well, it's basically
from there,
now.
Exclusive.
Yeah, so I joined a Facebook group today, and there are people who are going there to the Galactic Star Cruiser, and I'm going to be asking, like, hey, could you grab, I'm like, whatever, I'll pay, whatever it takes, grab whatever you can, because like, I want the what is it, the Chandrilla line, the Halcyon, is the name, right? Halcyon Star Cruiser, Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yes.
I wonder if not selling out now, like if there's rooms open per night, like that's fizzled out already, and that Yeah, obviously
I
see
would
the
say
writing on the
no,
wall with
and
it,
I
right?
think
Like
that
the
what
economy.
they're planning on doing is, a restructure. I don't think it's going to close completely for good. They put
I
too much
wonder though,
money in-
Glendon. I mean, like,
Well, how was the announcement that it was going to close, or
yeah, they're
they-
closing it.
Yeah, they're
They're
closing it.
suspending it. Like they're
Suspending.
so I can't imagine them. I mean, they might retool it. They might scale it down, but even at scaling it down, even at $3,000, like, okay, like, is it worth it? Like, and then you've got to gamble. So I wonder if it's going to be used for something else, and I don't know what that would be.
I see them turn it into another resort like they do the other portions of
Potentially.
That's what my guess would be.
But the whole value of it was that it was immersive.
Right.
That was everything.
Right.
That was everything.
I would have loved to have experienced
I
it,
would
but not
have
for those
loved to have
prices.
gone there, but I could never afford it.
Oh.
It was nice to look at whenever I went down there.
Yeah, here they sent me to Galaxy's Edge, but I mean I had hoped, and like they went, those rooms went to other people. Like, damn, of all the times for Disney to send me a thing, they sent me a thing for the Disney Sea Cruise, which we were going to do, and then I got sick like literally like 2 days before, so I almost had a Star Wars Day at Sea. That almost happened, which is, I was angry that had happened. But yeah, it would have been nice to have done that. It really would have. So that to me is, I wrote it on LinkedIn because I knew it was going to, if anywhere, is going to get attention there. I wrote, I am devastated, because of course you're on LinkedIn. Ooh, what happened? So I wrote it like all beginning, like, and then I made it like, well, Star Wars is closing. This is horrible. Like, I understand Star Wars is a business, but like, the only reason I want a job is so I can pay for my Star Wars shit. So like, because the alternative is, working to live and then dying without, enjoying it. So
That's no good.
It's the one thing that I have. Why did Disney take this from me? Why?
I actually kind of pegged that as soon as I saw that. I was like, this can't last.
Right?
Oh,
Really?
Like when I saw what the pricing was and everything, it's like, this is so premium. Like, to open something like that, you want constant people coming through it all the time, right? And it's just like, it has to be already fizzling out.
They figured, I feel like they could offset the costs. Or they had to find that delta, right? And they're like, well, there are probably enough fans that are rich enough to pay whatever it takes, and no questions asked. There are probably enough fans to do that, and there were clearly to sustain them to this point. But I feel they overshot, and so they feel they can make up the difference. Well, we may have fewer people, but we'll charge more, right? And that was the big mistake. That was the huge.
Anything with charging more nowadays is not going to fly.
Yep. Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
That is not your answer at all for anything.
I said the same thing about the Google Pixel Fold.
It's going to kill you.
Pixel tablet. I think it's just it's a non-starter.
Everybody's pumped the brakes and they're spending
at those prices. Me and the wife and the daughter, we planned on going, before this, not now, but before it was even initially announced, before pricing details were out, because we were anticipating it being a little more than just a regular resort stay.
Right.
And that changed real quick to probably never going to get to experience it.
Yeah, the Star Wars hotel closed in Disney. Yep. They're going to be closing it in September, which is anger-inducing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, the people that have reservations past September, they are blocking off the current availability so people can move up. So if you're trying to think about panic and like, oh my gosh, I got to go see this, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it sucks.
It just didn't surprise me though.
No, I'm not surprised at all.
Whenever I knew that as soon as it came out. I said that I can't see that lasting.
You can't, not at those prices. You're not going to get enough people on a weekly, daily, monthly basis to go through and pay that.
It was even if we weren't in this recession, like they say we're not in a recession, but we are.
Yes.
Even before all that, it still would have been a hard sell to try to keep going with those prices.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what they were thinking. Like
thinking name alone
that in touch with what people make.
It's horrible timing all around.
Yeah.
Somewhat good timing if you have iOS though. Shifting gears, OpenAI. OpenAI has finally launched an official ChatGPT app. It kind of looks like shit, but it is official, which is cool. That's nice. To have, if you have iOS and you use specifically an iPhone. Allegedly, there's going to be an Android app right around the corner, so I'm looking forward to that. That's what I would be using is an Android app. I also kind of looking forward to seeing what Samsung does with Bixby. If they transform Bixby more into, using or leveraging a large language model and taking on ChatGPT natively, that would be very, very interesting. But whether or not that happens, if only because I carry around a Samsung device. But maybe this will get more people to use ChatGPT. I don't know. Maybe they're more familiar with iOS apps than they might be desktop apps. I don't think though that's going to be as much of a boon, unless of course you already knew about ChatGPT and OpenAI and what they were doing. Because I think most people are when it comes to like using AI and these types of chatbots, they're integrated in services they're already using. They're not necessarily chasing them down, minus maybe ChatGPT. So that was the thing. This is a cool thing. I don't know if y'all caught this. I'm gonna have to link it in chat here. Ozrock says it's not a recession, it's going to be a depression. I'm depressed. I'll tell you that much right now. There's a new laptop called Spacetop, and what it is, from the chief executive behind the Microsoft Kinect, you might remember from the Xbox. What it is a laptop or Spacetop, and you wear glasses like AR glasses, and that's your screen. So it's like you've got the notebook computer, and then you put on the glasses, and then you can see your apps and everything up in front of you. So you have this virtual monitor in front of you, and this, in many ways, this may very well be what Apple's going to be doing with their reality headset. I was about to say that. Isn't that the rumor of what Apple's going to be doing? For the most part, but this would be, I would assume, a few, lesser powered, less expensive, different potential use case. Well, do we know if the Apple thing needs anything else, or it's going to be just its own thing? Like, does it need it? Does it need it? Yeah, I believe for that it would be. Does that have to plug into another Apple device in order to use its brains to make it work, or is it on its own? Yeah, we don't know, right? Item yet. I think you'd need to be, well, if it's not tethered, you're gonna need to be tethered to something, if only for power. Like, that's gonna be oh yeah, but I'm just wondering if they're gonna contain all the brains, like the chip and everything, all in it. Right. Or is they going to use the horsepower of a computer? From all the rumors, allegedly, for all the rumors, there are it's going to have its own interface, its own power, its own everything. So you don't need to tether to an iPhone, which is smart. Although I would argue that I think everybody who's buying one is going to have an iPhone probably. But it's also not something where you can walk around. So you're gonna have to be tethered to something. I don't think you're gonna need to be tethered to a Mac, if only for power. But maybe not. Maybe it doesn't need power apart from running on a battery, and you don't need to be. I don't know. Apart from need to be close to. We're gonna find out in soon, a few days, right? How that's gonna go. Take computing to the next level of being lazy. Now I can put glasses on and just lay down and work. I'm laying down flat on my back, but yet I have this giant virtual screen in front of me, and I'm just working that way.
VR experience to the next level. They make a pinball version of that idea too. Just a little table with buttons you walk up to. Table itself is in VR. See, that's pretty cool. So like I said, and I've said this. Part of our tax refund, we did get a tax refund. Part of that tax refund has already been requisitioned to, depending on what I see, what is this going to be? What am I looking at specifically?
literally, what am I looking at? Is this something that I would want? Like, is this something that I would use? I've earmarked specifically for Apple's reality headset. I have. Even though it is iOS.
I'm sure they're going to be having something like I know it's not a hope. I'm sure they've got something in the works that's never been done before, and it's going to pique your curiosity. It's going to have to, because they're coming in, and if it's just going to be another headset, they're too late in the game for just that, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's more
like
augmented reality where I'm looking at my desk, but yet there's this virtual monitor on there, or maybe it can go back and forth between augmented and full VR.
And that's what I'm saying. The augmented reality is much more exciting to me than VR.
I think so too, because nobody's really done too much with that yet.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm genuinely curious, absolutely. And like I said, I've already requisitioned the funds for it. So no one's like, whoa, how come Chris is spending? I'm like, well, first of all, it's a business expense. Second of all, that's my tax refund. So I worked for that. But yeah, I mean, so I'm willing, as much as I slag Apple, I'm willing to spend $3,000 on a headset or whatever it's going to be, but I'm not willing to spend $10,000 for 2 nights in a Galactic Star Cruiser. Although I will say this, I am going to reach out, now that I'm reminded, I'm going to reach out to someone that I met at the previous activation to see about, and it's probably last minute, but like I'm turning 50 in July, and I want to like, I don't know what to do. So I'm thinking maybe family doesn't know it, haven't mentioned anything, but I'm kind of like wondering if we should go to Disneyland for my 50th. I think that would be memorable. It'd be fun. It'd be different.
It's a good idea.
I'm thinking about it. But I want to see him like, hey, is there like, I realized this last second, but like, what are we looking at here? Because Disney brought, I'm going to see, like, Disney brought me down as an influencer for Galaxy's Edge. Is there a possibility of doing something very similar, if only to save costs on a trip?
Was that when you did the reveal of the Millennium Falcon for them too, the Nerf thing?
No, that was different.
That was totally different. Yeah,
that was different. I didn't get anything. I was able to buy.
Well, you think they would have gave you that Falcon at least?
They didn't give me the Falcon. They didn't give me anything.
That's too bad.
But even then, I was like, I didn't want the Falcon. I just wanted the BB-8. That's the only thing I wanted is that BB-8. But what I got out of that actually were a few awesome connections.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Which was like very, yeah, and then of course being able to do it. And then I ended up getting an autograph from some of the people who designed the Star Wars figures at the time, including from Mr. Stevie, an autographed Captain Phasma, because I was looking for one, and they found one, and then they autographed it. Like, awesome. I got 3 Hasbro people's autograph on it.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been thinking about it, because like, what am I gonna do apart from sitting around here and having cake, which is fine. It's normal, but like I feel like I'd want to do. You
only turn halfway to 100 once.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And granted, it's in the middle of summer, so it's not exactly the coolest day of the year. But it's literally at the height of, like, everything.
And something to celebrate too when you get up in the morning and you just say, hey, you know what? Everything still works on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
For now.
That's what I say. Like, everything's still working on me.
Jedi's gonna say, I want to go to Disneyland for my birthday. I'm like, okay, when you turn 50, we'll go to Disneyland. That's when we'll go. That's the time we're gonna go. So yeah, I've been thinking about it. Now I'm putting it out to the universe, and Diana better not be listening. I don't want to I want to try to get it set up, and then say, well, here's what we're gonna do for my birthday. We're going to Disneyland. So like, no, like, what are they gonna say? No, that's a horrible idea. I'm not going. Like, you can celebrate it yourself.
Said nobody, no time ever. No, I'm not going.
I was like, all right, well, let's do it. And then she's like, why didn't we go to Disneyland for my birthday? I'm like, my God. Okay, Diana, when you turn 50, we'll go to Disneyland for your birthday. Or, okay, her next big one is going to be, I'm going to say it, 40. So I'm like, okay, we'll go on your 40th. How's that? Because we can't do it like, can't do it all the time. So anyway, because I feel like I would know enough people or be connected to enough people in PR to turn it into something and maybe do some kind of influencer activation in and around, whether it's Florida. If I could, I mean, I don't think a Galactic Star Cruiser is even practical, or even California. I'm fine with Disneyland, doing that and just doing it for 4 days or whatever, and just having at it. It'll be expensive, but you only turn 50 once, and
Yeah.
I can't.
I've
think
been
of
lucky
else I'd
to
wanna
go
do.
twice in the past 4 years.
Well, Jedi has wanted to go, and I didn't want to take her too young, and I realized TLDR is turned into like Disney. But we talked about Apple's headset, and like spending the money and the budgeting and everything. But Jedi, I didn't want to go when she was too young.
Nope,
because
that's
I wanted
a good idea.
Memorable, right? And so, like, what's the magic age, right? 5 would have been too young. She's old enough now that I think she would start making deep memories, right? And I remember when I was 5, I remember certain things when I was 5, but as I got older, I remembered more and more and more and more and more.
Yep.
There we go. Mighty Bean, TLDR is the terribly long Disney rant. That is the title for this archive.
Thank you, Mighty Bean.
Since we archive these podcasts on YouTube for nobody to listen to, that will officially be the title for TLDR.
Oh my god, that's great.
Mighty Bean.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Always on top of it whenever
who
it
needs
comes
Chat
to puns.
GPT when you have Chat Bean or Bean GPT? Mighty GPT. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm that's my next thing. And granted, we're sneaking into June, so a lot of the stuff doesn't get cheaper the longer you wait. So, but the Star Cruiser thing happening has just got me going. I'm gonna have to do it sooner or later. You got it. I mean, it's like it's not exactly a rite of passage, but like being as deep into Star Wars as I am, and not going to Disneyland with the family, we don't take family vacations. We really genuinely don't. So, Diana and Jedi go to Texas every year, and that's fine because in many ways that's my vacation. So I'm happy. Like, no, go knock yourself out. Yeah, have at it. Don't care. But we don't really take family vacations. It's not something that we do, if only because of the cost. Like it's expensive to do that kind of thing. So anyway, for anybody is wondering, well, where's the tech news? Yeah, I was asking the same thing because there really wasn't much else beyond that laptop thing that I saw, which that was pretty wild. Trying to see, I'm scanning again to see if anything else catches my eye, but that was the big one.
Who was making the laptop again? Did you say?
It's a third party. Let me pull it up again.
And there's no screen.
Spacetop? No, there's no screen.
Yeah.
Spacetop.
So is there a keyboard? There's got to be a keyboard.
Yeah, there's a keyboard. Like, there's the link, Spaceful or Siteful.com. That's where you can see the laptop and there's no screen on it. It's basically a 100-inch screen for your eyes only. This, to me, I feel is kind of the future of what a laptop is going to be, because you're going to have the keyboard, right? And you're going to have a screen, this virtual screen in front of you, but you're going to need the glasses, right? You're going to need that apparatus. That's clear.
Oh, it's interesting. The flap comes open, and then looks like there's a camera there too.
Potentially. I don't know why.
Maybe that's for face tracking or something.
Yeah, potentially head tracking, face tracking. Mm-hmm. See, this is where I'm really curious. When I see something like this, I'm like, ooh, that is pretty wild. And then you cross over with what Apple's doing, but they're making it more like an iPad, I guess, experience than a Mac OS experience, which to me is like, oh, I don't like iPad apps. I mean, they kind of, like,
They need to make a jump in hollow technology, because then that would just skip over that, and then people will be really wanting it, because then they won't have to wear glasses anymore.
It'll be
just
coming.
See it.
Guarantee that's coming.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen those hollow fans, or ever used those, or seen them? The ones that the fan blades spin and then it's like a holographic image.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they're kind of neat.
I don't know if I'll be able to afford one, because AI will have taken my job by then. But taking everybody's job. Hey, Tinker Gerbs. I'm getting more Among Us's. I'm printing these Among Us characters.
This is actually pretty neat.
School. The model was found on Thingiverse. Slow down the speed to 55 or 50%. That's an 18-hour print now. It was just a 9-hour print, but that would take me to the middle of the night. And what I try to do is print things so that they happen overnight, not just here, but on MakerDeck. So that way there's something, right? So these will be slowly printed. What do they call astronauts? Crewmates? I'm
not sure.
Yeah, crewmates, I think is what they're called. On Among Us.
Oh yeah.
I've never played it. I've just watched people play it.
I played it VR. It's interesting.
Really?
VR version of it? Oh yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I would say it is.
In a letter to Satya Nadella, Twitter accuses Microsoft of violating an agreement over the use of the social network's data and declining to pay for that usage. So, Elon is looking for money wherever he can get it. That's the bottom line. Twitter also upgraded its limits. If you're a Twitter Blue subscriber, you can now upload up to an hour and 2 gigs to 2 hours, or for 2 hours for 8 gig files. Maximum resolution remains 1080p. I mean, I guess I don't use. What's the difference between uploading at that point natively to Twitter and uploading to YouTube? Nothing. Like, I don't envision anybody watching long form video on Twitter. Twitter was all about short stuff. So the fact that this is a thing, like, it's like, what kind of product manager is this guy? Like, to just totally miss the mark in terms of understanding why people like Twitter. And I really believe he just doesn't understand Twitter. As much as he uses it, I just don't think he understands it at all. And so this is what has me concerned about its future and its direction. But, like, beyond that, like, what's going to happen next? Like, what new feature? I keep waiting for a feature that's going to be awesome to be revealed, and say, all right, well, now Twitter does this, or now Twitter does that. And I've yet to see anything that would justify me spending $1 a month on Twitter, let alone $8 a month.
Imagine working there and just seeing, like, being told this is kind of where we're going with it, or you're going to work on this feature, and you're just, the whole time while you're working on it, you're thinking, well, why? That's what I would be thinking, right?
I guarantee that's what a lot of people would think.
And I wouldn't. And the problem with that is that you probably aren't putting too much enthusiasm into
energy.
It.
Yep.
So, are you going to get a really great product out of whatever feature you're putting in, or whatever? It's not going to be.
I think it's good that Twitter's still around, but not good that Elon's at the helm. He's not a product guy. He doesn't understand his product.
If he's smart enough, he needs to just go bug off and get somebody that's a CEO and give them full power and just say, go steer this ship and make me some money.
But here's
the problem. And then back off of it, right?
He hired a CEO. A new CEO is coming in. Linda Yaccarino is coming in. But her main function is going to be to woo advertisers. And then Elon's still going to be in charge. She's going to be CEO, but in title only. Elon's still holding the public strings.
He doesn't need to be, like, micromanaging that.
He will.
Like, he bought it, like, he tried to weasel out and not buying it, ended up having to buy it, doing all kinds of changes, laying off people like crazy and all that. Like, the best thing he could do if he wants to see the damn thing survive is just, here you go. You go steer the ship and go do something with it and make me some money. I'm not going to touch it.
That, but he's not.
Yeah.
And I don't think he will. I think his
I don't
ego.
know why he wants to.
It's his ego.
He's got it. Yeah.
He doesn't care. It's his ego. That's what this is about. Period. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to seem like he's. Well, I think we can all see that he's not exactly the genius that he would seem to be.
Does he have some sort of stake in it to make it fail and make it look like it failed over time because of something? So I don't know.
You know, I think a lot of it has been purposeful. I mean, as much as that's
not stupid that way. He knows how to make money, right? So to do something like this where it doesn't,
he knows how to make money, but in a different way. Like this is money that involves people and community and platform, and he's just green.
He's disconnected from that for sure.
He has no idea how to do that.
He's not a people person.
I mean, it really. I thought he was an idiot before, but kind of like, well, it doesn't impact me. I don't care. But now it impacts me. So yeah, I am not thrilled with the direction that he's been taking it at all. So yeah, he's got a new CEO coming in. So that's happening. Welcome back, Redrius. Redrius today, he started following here. He said he found this stream from a video that we had posted in the YouTube channel, I don't know how long ago, about how to root your your Nook, your Barnes & Noble Nook.
Ooh.
And he jumped over from that.
Yeah.
Live.Pirillo.com still redirected. Isn't that funny? Is this Star Wars Galaxy's
Is rooting that big of a thing anymore? Like, I don't hear too many people caring to even root things anymore.
Oh, well, he did. He found it thrifting. Yeah. And he tried it. This is actually live, Redrius. The video is 11 years old. Oh, my God. But the link still worked, to my credit. This is that Queso, I believe, is playing.
Yeah, Queso plays it, and it's on a public server that people have carried on the game.
So everything
after it's closed down.
Yeah, and everything you see here, all these. Oh wait, hang on. That crashed? Everything you see here is live. Every one of these squares, anybody can join, do something, play something. Right now, every night, right around 6 p.m. Pacific, we typically talk or cover the tech headlines. So you're welcome to join, and thank you for popping back. Really appreciate that. If only to learn that, you can still play Galaxies or Star Wars Galaxies. And I love how the fans have taken that and continued it. I wish that would happen with more games than it absolutely happens to.
I need to get in there and do it myself. I played a lot of that game.
See, I never did it. As much as I love Star Wars, I never did a lot of the Star Wars games at all. Although I've got the Rogue Squadron now on. Who released Rogue Squadron 3D for free? Was that Twitch? Epic? No, Steam.
I don't remember.
Someone did. Someone did. I'm not sure who.
I'm looking for the War for Cybertron games for PC. Transformers.
See, again, those should have been like thrown into not abandonware. Well, in many ways, abandoned, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mad Cat. Very appreciated.
Mad Cat, thank you.
Coming in with a cheer. Saints Angel says, I believe Twitch. What? Oh, for the Rogue Squadron 3D? I can't remember. I've connected to so many things. Oh, speaking of free games, today they've made what's available now.
On Steam, Metro.
Yeah. Steam, that's not ready yet, is it?
The 18th through the 23rd.
Okay, so it has started. The Steam game started. But there's another one, Death Stranding, is currently free on the Epic Game Store. Okay, there we go. So you see her posted an update on the thread on Discord. So so it looks like the Metro Series Complete Edition. How much was it normally? Because it's 100% off.
I'm not sure
what
it was for the Complete Edition.
Wow, it's got to be. It says up to 80% off, but it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80%, 80%, 80%. The completed. So each one at 80% off. Okay, they were $10, $14. The Metro Saga bundle was $84. Exodus was $40. So this is Last Light Complete Edition. Last Light Redo is $20. So that's probably a $20 game.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving you for free for a limited time. Install now and keep it forever. So one thing I wish Steam games did, I wish they were all Mac compatible, but that's me. I'm biased there. Oh, you can upgrade to the director's cut. I knew the Death Stranding happening for free because it's Thursday. Every Thursday, check your Epic. Every Thursday, that's where you want to be. It's a given. And there are new Twitch games too. I think they release new Twitch games every week. So every time you check on Thursday, on Epic, check your Twitch if you have Twitch Prime, and most people do. They have Amazon Prime. There are very few people who don't. It's a good reason. Ooh. A group of 5 TikTok creators sued to overturn Montana's law that's set to ban the app starting January 1st, 2024, citing the First Amendment and more. Oh, wow. Yeah, the state, they're calling it unconstitutional. I wonder who. I wonder if it's listening, because one of the people who lives in Montana or did live in Montana was one of the Green brothers of YouTube and VidCon. Oh, this is fascinating. In addition to the legal fight, many experts raise questions about whether the law can be enforced. Internet users can use virtual private network VPNs to disguise locations. Individuals who live in Montana border towns could have access to TikTok and other mobile apps through cell towers in neighboring states. Wow. So they'd be using geofencing, assumedly. Under the law, TikTok could be fined $10,000 for each individual violation of the ban. So TikTok would be fined. The responsibility should be on an app to determine where it can operate, not an app store. That was what someone had noted. TikTok users have been successful in blocking a ban of the app before. In 2020, a judge sided with a group of creators who challenged an attempt to ban the app by President. TikTok and ByteDance also separately sued to stop the president's actions. I don't know if TikTok is suing this time around. It's probably you're probably better off empowering your creators. I wonder if the ACLU is getting involved. Yeah, TikTok would be the one who's getting fined. Yep. Because this hits. I mean, it hits TikTok, but it hits creators in that state too. Like, I mean, I cannot tell you. It's just everyone's on TikTok. As much as I feel there are more people using TikTok than Facebook, quite honestly, which is probably the reason why this happened. I'm not saying conspiracy theory. I'm not saying I can't prove that Facebook had anything to do with it, but I mean, I'd say they had anything specifically to do with it. But at the same time, lobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
Quacking like a duck.
Yep.
You do. Yeah, I mean, I use it. Maybe not as prolifically as I'm certainly not an expert in it. I mean, I think other people do it better than I do. I'm still trying to find my footing on it, though.
You have to make an account.
Yeah, you gotta make it. Well, yeah, you gotta make an account to make it work. But you don't have to post anything, right? You just do it. But
not that big on social media, so it's
I wanted
be a lot to actually pull me into wanna. I really don't need much more distractions because YouTube can really take over sometimes my viewing of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just like, man, look at the time that went by here.
I get sucked in on TikTok more than I get sucked in on YouTube.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Way more. Oh my god, right. Yeah. And if you're afraid of that, yeah, forget it.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't need that right now in my life with how busy I am.
You will lose everything. Yeah. You lose all sense.
Reddit did that to me for quite a while. When Reddit was like hot at the time, I was just like, I can't stop reading this stuff. I can't stop looking at it. It's just kept going and going and going and going. It was very addictive for a while, and then it was just like.
I never went down the Reddit rabbit hole.
Oh, I did for a little while there. I was just like, can't get that time back that I just wasted.
Yeah, now it's just a resource, right? You just go on there and you just go on Google and it's just any question you're asking, Reddit.
Yeah, it's interesting how it kind of turned into that, but it did. Yeah, I've got some of my best answers from there too. AI will take that out soon.
I know.
Yeah,
and Reddit. Who knows?
I know it gets more and more important, over time, just because the amount of people who use it. But it's not. Wait a minute. Linus Sebastian stepping down as CEO and transitioning into a new role. Well, I guess if you want a place to grow, bring in someone who gets it. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that right before we went live.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Chief Vision Officer, which makes sense. I feel him there. Yeah. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. Glendon, you want to cover deals?
Sure.
Hey, Mr. Goat. Sorry for the yawn.
All right. So the first one here is the Wow Stick. And I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with this or not, but it's just an electric screwdriver. Comes with basically everything that you need to get started for like precision tool kits as far as those go, like the small hex screws and the tri screws and different things like that. $59, but you get a 20% off coupon.
Yeah,
I've got one of those myself, so I'm not going to sign in, but
so is that to buy more screwdriver heads, like what to put towards, like what's the coupon for?
No, the coupon takes 20% off of the $59.88.
Oh, okay, right up front. Okay,
yeah, right up front.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it's very handy. I use it a lot with my keyboard builds, which I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I bumped that up, and it's in there on the as an event in Discord. So if anybody wants to watch that, tune in. There's this shameless plug. But yeah, it's a good deal. I paid full price for mine, but 20% off for this, I feel, is a really nice deal, and it's extremely handy because you don't over torque things. It's just nice to have, and there's a breakdown of like the bits that you get. You get 56 bits with it, and a spudger and suction cup for like the glass on faces of cell phones, so on and so forth.
Good magnet on it too.
Yep, it's got a good magnet on it, and it actually comes with a magnetizer, so you can, temporarily magnetize other things that aren't.
Interesting.
So, all right.
That's always my beef with a lot of screwdrivers. It's like, oh, it's magnetized, but it's so weak it doesn't even hold the screw at the end of it, and I hate that.
Yeah, as long as it's an actual steel screw, then yeah, it holds it up. Right. The next one are the Apple AirPods Pro. These are the newest or the current generation. Right now they're 20% off at $199, regular $249. I don't think that I have to go into great detail with these. Most people understand what the AirPods are, but these are the Pros. I have a pair myself. I really enjoy them. I like them. If anything, it's just for convenience sake. You just open up the case and it automatically pairs, which I know Android can do the same thing now with theirs. But it's not a bad price. 20% off, $249. If anybody is in the market for a set of AirPods. or headphones in general.
They're still
Any of you
touch
guys
too. Are
use
they
them?
not the latest ones? Like they're still like you can operate by touching them, like
Yes,
skipping
yep.
and stuff.
Yep, you can skip, change volume, and everything with gestures on the stems. MagSafe charging on the case, so you can actually set your AirPods case on the back of your phone, and it would charge them. So pretty nice to have.
They still go with the stem a bit, eh?
Yep.
You know, like the original ones, everybody laughed, said you got toothbrushes in your ear because they went down quite far, right? These are a lot more discreet, the newer ones, right?
They're shorter for sure.
Yeah.
As the technology matures, I guess, you know, they're able to downsize that. But
and do they have a built-in mic to them too?
yes, there's a microphone in those, and they're noise canceling. And the noise canceling is amazing on these things.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So it and it does come with multiple different sizes for your ear for the seal.
Comes with 3 additional tips. Other than that, you got small, medium, large, and extra large.
You don't have any feeling like it's falling out. It's good and solid in your ear. I know that's going to be different per person, right? The way the shape of your ear, but comfy.
No, I've not had any issues. They're pretty comfy to me. And then, of course, there's always third-party companies that you know makes tips for these also, where you can change them out. A good company that I use for foam tips, which is what I prefer. It's like a memory foam where you squish them down, put it in your ear, and then it conforms to your ear canal. Is Comply. So if anybody is out there and you see it's, I need some new tips for my AirPods or my earbuds or whatever you have, then check out Comply, because they make really good foam tips.
And from what I had mentioned the other night here about, you know, how Apple, when it can't really do too much to innovate, but they still want to sell the next generation, they start adding color. I think they're overdue for actually having other colored ones other than white.
There's been a black version rumored for a while. So I wouldn't be surprised to see.
Because that's one thing that turns me off of it. I don't really like the white in your ear.
Yeah. Yeah, I would much prefer a black or a dark blue or something personally. But yeah, it's a good price. Again, I paid full price for mine, but here's 20% off.
Save us money, Glendon.
This next one is a real banger. I already showed this to Brad earlier. This is a hell of a monitor. Samsung Odyssey Neo G7, 43-inch, 30% off. Normally $1,000. You can get this for $699, cool. And it's QLED mini LEDs, so it's going to get extremely bright. It's just, it ticks all the buttons and checks all the boxes for me.
They've came a long way for monitors, because their monitors sucked a long time ago. I never liked them.
Yeah, but now
I think I did have one for a while. It was given to me, and then I managed to pawn it off or to actually sell it to somebody. And it was a common problem with, like, you could not. It would always want to tip forward, and you could not get it to be where you wanted it to be. Like the stands that they used to make for them were terrible. And
I love the fact
this looks like a good premium type of monitor now.
It's got, I think that's Apple. Is that Android TV built in?
Yeah, Android
really?
TV built into it. It's a smart monitor. So it's
Android TV's in it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
For a monitor.
I use that.
Yep.
What? I wonder why they thought that. I guess because they can. Like, why would you want
Samsung,
that if you're going to be connecting it to a computer?
It in their phones, so I guess why not go ahead and put it in this? Yeah, it's built into it. It's a smart monitor.
It's getting so, the lines are getting so blurred between what's a TV and a monitor anymore. Like, I think that's eventually just going to converge.
Yeah,
and there be a monitor TV. It's just, here's your displays that you want to choose from.
Yeah.
Android
Before it was always input lag that killed televisions, but now because of more generational consoles with your PS5 and your Xbox Series X, and their high-speed HDMI 2.1s, I mean, there's no reason not to have low input lag any longer.
I think it was like these new consoles is what expedited that too, because people are like, if I'm gonna have that console, you need to start making TVs that are gonna drive that properly, right?
Yep.
So
and Samsung partnered with
that, right?
for it also.
Mm-hmm.
So for their cloud gaming service, it's baked into their new televisions right now.
But that's a common question now. A lot of people are like, should I just get a TV for my computer monitor?
Yeah,
or vice versa, you know, like people are getting, because it's getting very blurred.
A close friend that purchased the 42 or 43 inch LG C2 OLED and uses that as a computer monitor.
That probably looks just beautiful.
And it's amazing. I have one of those on the wall, except it's the 70 inch or 72, whatever it is. But yeah, he uses it as his daily driver for his monitor, and it's absolutely awesome. So yeah, if you're looking for a good monitor, it's $699, 30% off. If I was needing another, which I've kind of teetered on the thought of having one and just another display, like I need another one, but you know, whatever. That's another.
I've got so many of them as it is, but it's just like, man, I wish I had a better reason to get one now.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like,
only my monitor sucked.
I want to go for, you know, that higher resolution and everything, but at the same point, it's like, I can't.
This would be perfect for my MacBook.
This would be good. I would easily.
I would put this on the wall.
Yep. I grab
right
one
behind my desk. I may seriously grab one and just.
They go right up to 49 inch with this, eh?
Yeah.
That's big for what they are calling a monitor.
Yep. I would
Holy
stick
geez.
with 43.
Even 43 is huge, but 49 inch?
Yep.
Beavers.
All right. So the next one, not near as exciting, still a good deal. I got this on here, and Chris sent this to me, and it's actually really good price for SSDs. You know, it's not NVMe, so what is it? 1.5 gigabyte. Is that transfer speed? Is that what that is on these?
It's something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But if you look here, I mean, you can get one for 8 terabytes now. 8 terabytes, $431. That's not bad.
8 terabytes in a laptop.
Or a desktop.
But like, I'm just thinking, because it's easy to throw that in laptop too. They still make room for some laptops anyway. They still make room for you to put an SSD drive in like that.
But I would love to have this inside my main computer here and just never have to worry about storage again, basically at 8 terabytes. But yeah, I mean, if you can get 1 terabyte for $60. 2 terabytes for $129. So you're at 56% off for the 1 terabyte and 44% off for the 2 terabyte at $129. So if an NVMe is still a little pricey for you and you're looking for something over 2 terabytes, then this is definitely going to be way cheaper than it would be if you were trying to find an NVMe that's, 4+ terabytes.
And man, has Samsung ever broke into that market? They make good drives.
Yeah, they do.
Like if you go on and start taking the review, I forget what I had to look up the website, but there's where they actually review the reliability and the longevity of them, and they show them over time. And Samsung's right up there and like beating some of these ones that have been around for years that were, and it's that whole thing of going away from spindle drives, right? Because you used to think, Western Digital and Seagate and all that, but now, I have Samsung drives.
Samsung is the first one that I think of whenever I go to get a drive now of any kind.
Yep, even the NVMe's, they're super fast. They're a real good brand.
And you can see right here, 18,002 ratings, and it's got 4.8 stars. So that says something. All right. And let's see, that was the last one. That was all 4 of them. That would be it, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Glennon.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.